Okay. A little bit of technical difficulties ain't never gonna stop your auntie. All we gonna do is try it again. Okay, we gonna brush ourselves off and try again. Well, hello there, and this is Auntie. And I am here on the late night to give you a review of Life After Lockup, Season 2, Episode 21, Close Call. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for joining the channel. And to all of my nieces and nephews who have been here with your auntie for the mofo long haul, thank you so much for your continued support. As I was saying before, if I had to rate this episode, I would rate this episode an A just for the fight. Okay? The fight alone got an A from your auntie. These mofos only have one more episode, y'all. I don't know what the hell we're going to do, but I guess we're gonna try to make it through. Thank you so much to Josie and to Mary for being out here tonight. Y'all, let me tell y'all, let's go ahead and get into this episode, okay? Okay. So the first person I want to start this episode off, or this review off with, is Megan. Megan is sitting, in Texas, all right, and she wants to go over and visit her dad. And so she comes into the house, and her dad is in the kitchen cooking like any old good old southern man, okay? Daddy all big and burly. I said, hey, Donnie, till he said something about his wife and her mother. And I was like, oh, okay, skeek. Okay, Auntie, back up. So we see him in the kitchen and he's cooking and everything. And Megan wants to come in and tell him about, Michael. So she goes into telling her dad that she went to see him and that the baby was his, that he is indeed married, and all the kind of things that her dad had warned her about and told her to stay away from. But as we know, this is Megan's first, all right? And so she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over Michael. And so the dad is like, come on, Megan, I didn't raise you that way. Megan basically has no self-esteem, but her dad isn't going to say that. He's like, you're making a mistake. I told you that this mofo wasn't about nothing. And so, so Megan is trying to make excuses, with her or to her dad about why she feels like she wants to stay in this relationship. And he was like, you have to be a strong woman. And, he's like, your mom is strong. Your mom's a strong woman, Megan, and you have to, be the same way. Thank you so much for the super chat. Looking so pretty tonight, Auntie. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Is that Stacy? Let me see if that's Stacy. Thank you, Stacy B, for the 199 super chat. So the dad is like, if I was there, I would have been kicking his ass. And so, Megan's like, Dad, you know, Dad, please, come on. He a career criminal. All right. So he says, call him up on the phone. I want to talk to him. And so Megan's like, no, Dad, you don't have a reason or need to have to talk to him. And he's like, no, get him on the phone. I want to talk to him. And so, of course, it doesn't take a whole lot of arm pulling for her to get her phone and dial Michael up on FaceTime. And so Michael is in the car, as he always is. And so, the dad comes up on the phone and everything. Michael pops up and he's like, hey, what's up? This Megan's dad. So, Michael's like, yeah, you know what? And he's like, my daughter told me about all the things that happened while she was there, and I really don't appreciate it. what's going on with you? And so, he's like, you don't feel like you needed to tell my Megan the truth about the relationship. And he's like, well, me and Megan, we had a semi conversation. And so the dad said, oh, so what you decided to do was give her a half-ass truth. So the dad is, he's talking, big papa stuff and everything. And so, Michael, he's like, so what about, why wouldn't you tell her the truth? And so Michael's like, we're both grown adults. We do what we do. Your daughter has hurt me. I've hurt her. We've both hurt each other. So the dad was like, Donnie was like, well, what did she do? What did my daughter do to hurt you? And so Michael was like, you know what? She grown and everything. Let her tell you herself. And so, Papa San is like, what? So Michael's being disrespectful to the dad. He has no respect. I take it that Michael probably has never had anybody in his life who has even served remotely as a father figure to him. So he don't give a damn about a big black man that cares halfway about his daughter. And the dad told her, I'm gonna keep it with you 100. Are you in love with him? I'm gonna straight out come and ask you. And so, she, of course, her answer is yes. Yes, she's in love with Michael, even though Michael has a whole wife and 2 children. When she told the father that the children was his, he was like, she was like the baby. And he was like, what baby? She was like the new baby that she just had last week. As a matter of fact, Dad, I got a screenshot of. I got a picture. You want to see it? So, the dad was like, you disrespectful, you dishonorable, you a liar, you a cheat, you a snake in the grass, you this, you that, you nick, you knack, and your mother patty rack, okay? So Michael, hangs up the phone, and Megan's dad is like, come on, you gotta step your game up. Why would you be with somebody like this? So anyway, on the meantime and in between time, on the other side of the world, we see Megan. Sarah. Sarah's riding in the car. She says that, she a week or two after having the baby, she went into a deep depression. She says that the depression was as a result of her contemplating her life, not being able to figure out what it is she wants to do with her life, whether or not she wants to be with Michael or not. And I'm thinking to myself, you've been pregnant 9 months and you haven't figured that out yet. The mofo hasn't been around, hasn't been in your life since your stomach was barely showing. And so you've always been going through all of this stuff. Come on now, Sarah. So anyway, Sarah is, in my opinion, probably suffering with postpartum, like a lot of other women do. You can't say that your postpartum is a result of you having a no good flea bitten husband. Okay. So, she's riding around and she's saying, you know what, I can't live this kind of life anymore. And so she stops off at a lawyer's office because she wants to explore the possibility of getting a divorce from Michael. So she comes into this, a lawyer, really fairly young lawyer. And she's like, okay, Sarah, so what brings you in here? So she's like, I want to get a divorce. So the lady's like, okay, this attorney is like, okay, well, do y'all have children together? And she's like, yes, we do. And so she was like, okay, so do you have custody of the kids? And she's like, no. So she was like, well, tell me, why do you want to get a divorce? So she goes into telling the lawyer, that, her husband, who she's been married to for 18 months, she married him while he was incarcerated. When he got out of jail, he, immediately left that ass. She said, started an argument with her, left for 2 days, went to Niagara Falls with his with the hoe Megan hoe. And, she wants to get, so she was like, the whole time the lawyer mouth was like, okay. So she's like, so you don't have custody of the kids? She's like, no. She says, do you have a fear that if the children go with him, that he will keep the children? She said, because at this point, without having a custody order in place, he has the right to keep the kids, and it may be fairly hard for you to get the children back. And so, she ain't even never thought about nothing like that. And for real, she know Michael don't want them damn kids. Okay? He don't want to take care of them kids on no full-time basis. She ain't even got to worry about that. He be calling her an hour when she down at the corner store trying to get chicken wings, french fries, and mumbo sauce. That motherfucker don't care nothing about those children. She don't even have to worry about that. And as far as the mother and Day, they ain't going to take care of him either because they barely taking care of this mofo on tether, okay? So, she says, well, do you want the divorce? She's like, yeah, I want the divorce. So she was like, are you really going to go through with this, Sarah? And so, she was like, okay, this is the procedure. It'll take us 5 minutes to get this paperwork done. We'll file for the divorce, and then he got to be served. So Sarah's like, well, can I serve him? She's like, well, why would you serve him? It's bad enough you sitting in here 18 months after going through all the things that you've gone through, and now here you sitting up in here being phony and faking, acting like you're trying to get a divorce. The lady really was reading through her ass. She understood that Sarah wasn't ready for this, and so, Sarah's like, yeah, but I want to, she's like, you need to get a sheriff or a marshal or somebody to go serve him. He's going to talk you out of it. No, Michael ain't talking her out of a god daggone thing. She is going to stay in that relationship with him because this is what she wants. Michael really does not. For real, he doesn't want Sarah. Okay? Sarah's holding our hopes that Michael is going to try to talk her out of something. So we see her sit with her little bestie and everything. And she's telling the bestie that she wouldn't file for a divorce. She shows her a card, of the lawyer's card. And she says that, she is filing for a divorce from Michael. And so the best friend is like, okay. So she's like, I'm going to go to Michigan because, I want to serve him the papers myself. And she's like, once you get there, Michael's going to talk you into doing whatever he wants you to do because he knows you have low self-esteem. He knows you fickle. He's used to, manipulating, controlling, dominating women. And so that's what he's going to do with you. And Sarah's sitting there looking stupid because she really knows that this is something that Michael is good at, especially when it comes down to her. So the next time we see Sarah, she's in the car. She got her little baby in the back. She's so adorable. And she is driving from New York to Michigan with a brand new baby. And according to her, a bout of depression 1 week behind her. Who the hell does something like this? Sarah. So Sarah's in the car and she's like, we're going to go and see your daddy. And she was like, you happy to see him? And she was like, yeah, I ain't seen him in years and 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 years. Okay? So, Sarah's laughing and everything. And she's like, I'm nervous. And the baby was like, why nervous? Why nervous? And she said, when I get excited, I really can't explain that to you. You know what I'm saying? And so the little baby is like, oh, okay, well, be nervous, but get to driving. And so, she's on her way to Michigan to give Michael fake divorce papers. Divorce papers are real, but they fake coming from her. Okay? She wants to see whether or not this is her last ditch effort to see whether or not Michael cares anything about her or whether or not he's going to talk her out of it. I don't see him talking her out of it. I see him talking her into it. The next couple that I would like to talk about tonight is Scott and god daggone Lizzie. Lizzie got a whole lot of nerve. This is the same chick that told Scott that she didn't want to be with him. As we all know, Lizzie just found out that Shirlene, okay, y'all remember Shirlene from every episode? Shirlene is living with Scott, okay? So Lizzie comes out of the bathroom with a towel around her because, of course, we know she's a sex kitten. All right. So she thinks it's sexy. She thinks it's hot. She wants to make sure that the that the WeTV cameras catch her in her best light and all her glory. Okay, with half of her bathing suit on and half of her bathing suit off. She comes out. She starts talking about the furniture and everything, and she was like, it's dusty, it's dirty, it's dingy up in this mofo. Don't nothing match up in this camp and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so while she's prancing and prancing around in one room and Scott is outside, guess who comes through the door? Yup, Shirlene. So Shirlene comes through the door, and so they have a little altercation in the front row. Okay, so Shirlene is like, what? You still here? What you still? So Lizzie's like, what are you doing here? So they going back and forth, talking little petty stuff. They didn't catfight or anything like that. Look, here we go. It's still a late night, okay? So they going back and forth with one another. They saying little things to each other. And Lizzie is like, you a hoe. You sleeping with them. Why you here? And so Shirlene is like, I'm here because I'm his friend. Why the fuck are you here? So the two of them are going back and forth. And so, Lizzie is like, I know that you sleeping with him because ain't no way in the world that he would be taking care of you, And she was like, he would be taking care of you without you being on your back because you's a stray hoe. And so Shirlene is trying to be patient. So she's like, do you got a key to the house? So Shirlene was like, yeah, bitch, I got a key to the house. You got one? And so Lizzie was like, I'ma one up you. Let me one you up, okay? So she runs to her pocketbook and she pulls out her wallet. She was like, look at what Scott gave me. Look at what Scott gave me. Yeah, he gave me a little ring. He gave me some bling. Okay, so Shirlene's not impressed because at the end of the day, Lizzie is there for a visit. The bitch is not there to live. So Shirlene, she gets mad because Shirlene got a key to the house and Shirlene ain't backing down. And Shirlene was like, why in the world would Lizzie be worried about whether or not I'm having sex with Scott or not? Isn't she the one that said that she didn't want him? So if she doesn't want him, why would she even be worried about what I'm doing with Scott? And so, the next thing Lizzie, the conversation gets out of control because Lizzie done called her all kinds of hoes and everything. And Shirlene ain't moved yet, okay? Shirlene is tired of her, this little rat bumping its gums back and forth. And so, Lizzie yells for Scott. So Scott comes in there and she wants Scott, the girl is saying, okay, Lizzie was saying to Shirlene that basically Scott don't want her there. And he wants to be with her. Shirlene said, I need to hear this out of Scott's mouth. So she calls Scott in. Scott comes in. She's like, Scott, tell her what's up. So Shirlene is like, yeah, tell me what's up. So Scott is like, what? She was like, are you sleeping with her? And he was like, no. Do you love me, Scott? So Scott is like, man, it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. And at this point, you're my girlfriend. She's my friend. I don't want to lose you, and I don't want to lose her. So Shirlene was like, look, you don't need to be with anybody, Scott, until you don't need to be with her until she is drug tested. So now Libby is mad and talking about, Lizzie is mad and talking about, well, people have never believed in me. I guess not. You've been an addict for what, 18 years? Okay, you've been addicted to drugs and incarcerated for 18 years, almost your daughter's whole entire life. And you think that somebody's going to believe in you because you've been out for 2.5 weeks? Girl, bye, Lizzie, sit your ass down. So Lizzie was like, you know what? Here's the thing. Scott has been different for the last 2 years. Something ain't right about his ass. When he came to visit me 2 years ago, he wasn't the same man. I got a suspicion that not only am I using drugs, but so is Scott. So Lizzie tells Scott, I will take a drug test, Scott, if you take one. Bam. So they leave us with that cliffhanger on whether or not Scott is going to actually take the drug test or not, or whether or not he's on drugs or not. I got a feeling, deep down in my Noah, that Scott is on drugs. He sweats all the time and whatever. This mofo sweats all the time. The next couple we're going to talk about is Andrea and Lamar. Andrea has convinced Lamar to go to Utah. They are on the road again. They are riding. Lamar says she's been there for him, and so he's going to be there for her. Andrea is happy for the weed house because the weed house is what gave her the ammo to convince him to go with her to Utah. So they're on the road and everything, and they're riding, and they're talking about this Mormon life. And you know, and Nook Dog is like, you know, I need to have some black people there. He envisions Utah and Mormon country as a white country where he is not going to fit in. He said he don't need a whole lot of blacks, but he at least need a speck here and there at the store. He need to be able to go to the store and see a speck there and a speck there. He just dropping the N-bomb back and forth, okay, which we won't be doing on this channel. But Nook Dog is like, this is not where I want to be. He said, y'all don't know if I'm, what I'm gonna see up when I get up in that mofo, or who I'm gonna see. I know they're gonna be trying to convert me to being a Mormon, but I ain't gonna be no Mormon or anything like that. I'm gonna go up here and satisfy her, and then we bringing our asses back home. So they get to the point where they're at the Utah side, and of course Andrea, for the camera, got to jump out the car and everything. She wants to take a picture at the Utah side, and so she's like, take a picture of me with my tongue, me kissing the pole. So Nook Dog was like, put your tongue on it, because he's thinking about that old Christmas movie that comes on every year with a little boy, tongue, it was so cold that his tongue got stuck to the pole, okay? So, and then he goes home and he got a whole bunch of icicles, which was cotton back in the day, hanging and dangling out his mofo mouth, okay? And so, Lamar's like, I'm gonna go ahead on and do this, but this, I really ain't bunking with these Mormons. Andrea is thinking once he gets here, he's going to see that this is a happy wife, happy life. He's going to see the real Andrea. He's going to see that I'm happy with my friends and all that kind of stuff. And this is going to convince him that this is the perfect life for the perfect life for us. Lamar already said, man, I would like to take the ghetto and put the ghetto in the Mormon community. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know what the hell that would look like, but this is what he's talking about. All right. So they get there and everything, and she's excited and all of that, and they're coming out of a house and all that, and he's like, you moving real fast, and she was like, yeah, because we late. So she walks up into a little friend house, and everybody up in that mofo look like dang yeeky, dang yanky. Everybody up in that mofo was looking a hot Mormon mess. No offense, but they was looking a hot mess. The one girl said, yeah, I remember Lamar from the wedding. If I didn't know that he had spent 18 years in prison, I wouldn't have never thought that he was a prison man. Lamar's like, what the foolishness? Lamar brings a 6-pack of beer. He think he done pull some Heineken off of the shelf, and he didn't actually pull some Heineken. And they like, why you ain't bring some real beer up in here? He said, I ain't know it was no damn real beer. And I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, you can't read? Come on, the dog. You can't read? He said, I'm sitting up in here basically with ginger ale. Okay. They like, what's going on. So, everybody's, they got little balloons and everything. They're happy to see him and all of that kind of stuff. And Nook Dog is like, man, what in the foolishness is going on up in here? Andrea's happy. She's smiling from ear to ear. She's in Utah. This is where she's used to living at. They walking up and down the Utah street when they get there to that mofo. And Lamar's like, look at that man. He already peeping at me. And she was like, ain't nobody looking at us. Come on, we can walk through the neighborhood. Lamar was like, man, look at that man. He walking like this. He on his tippy toes. And he... Okay, let me put my glasses on. Thank you so much, Tina Marie, for the $9.99 super chat. Love you, Auntie. That lady making chitlins disturb my spirit. I know she went well, but the history behind why we eat them is so racist, I couldn't take it. Okay, I ain't even got there yet, boo. Thank you so much for the super chat, and you're absolutely right. They walking down the street and everything, and Lamar already knows, okay? He a fish up out of water. He's a fish out of water. He already know that this ain't a place that he already know. And so, they're in the kitchen and everything, and they doing what they do. So Lamar wants to go outside and talk to the only black girl there. And y'all remember the little black girlfriend, right? So the black girlfriend, she's standing in the back. So she like, how you like it here, Nook Dog? So Nook Dog like, whatever. She was like, you ain't gonna get nothing to eat. He was like, but they got to eat in there. She was like, they got chitlins. Nook Dog was like, what? She was like, yeah, they got chitlins. They made it just for you. Nick Dog was like, I don't ain't no damn chitlins. She should have had fried chicken. Now, like you said, Tina Marie, I thought that was very racist. I don't know if that was meant to be a joke or what that was meant to be. But you know what? When you talk about chitlins and watermelon and all that old kind of stupid stuff, that stuff is racist. For all of y'all that don't know, don't stereotype all of us and say that all black people eat chitterlings. We don't all eat chitterlings. I don't want to smell them, clean them, wash them, eat them, suck them. I don't want hot sauce on them. I don't want them cooked in my house. Matter of fact, I don't even recognize them when they're at the grocery store. All black people don't eat chicken, and all black people do not eat watermelon. And to insinuate that should be the meal of the day unless they're eating it, don't feed me a damn thing you're not going to eat yourself. Don't do it. It's disrespectful. It's not what we do. Off the hook. Unacceptable. We TV. Okay. So anyway, the girlfriend is sitting out there. She's talking to Nook Dog about being in Utah and asking him when is his parole over. He told her when his parole's over and all of that. Then we see Nook Dog in the back with the fellas, okay? He's with Lumberjack Jack, okay? Lumberjack Jack is telling him that Tennyson is going to become doing a missionary trip and that he needs to do this. All the guys are in the back. They're fishing in a pond in the middle of a housing development. What the... And so, he's out there fishing with them. Lamar thinks that it's relaxing, but it ain't relaxing enough for him to be there because he said, at this point, I'm looking at these mofos and I'm seeing children of the corn. He's like, I can't do this. This is not, this ain't my lane. And Andrea's in the house and she's talking about, she's been working behind Nook Dog's back, meeting with her old supervisor and making arrangements in the background for him to get a job and, housing and all that kind of stuff. That is not the way that you do things. You sit down and you communicate. And you know what? At the end of the day, you knew what you were getting into. You knew that this man was going to parole in California. You knew he wasn't going to come to Utah. And so now for you to be manipulative and do things behind his back absolutely has to be scripted because Nook Dog is not the kind of man that's going to ever fall for that. And you already know that, Andrea. So again, and this is another thing that I see as being scripted. I really believe that the chitterlings were scripted. But again, it is not something that should be used to... I can't with it. So anyway, Nook Dog is very uncomfortable. He doesn't want to stay in Utah. He's not going to stay in Utah. They were trying to talk to him. He said they're not going to convert me to being a Mormon. I be goddamn if that's what they're going to do. And he is just ready to go at this point. The next couple I want to talk about is Clint and Tracy. As we all know, Clint and Tracy are in the room. They've been, scuffling and arguing all night. And so things have finally seemed to settle down. So we see Tracy over at the night table say, I can't believe that you would go and tell my business to someone else. And you would tell intimate things about me and say that you don't love me anymore and you want her to be your goddess. And so Clint is, sitting there busted. All right. I don't know if he got his phone back or what, but at this point, he's sitting there busted and he doesn't really have much to say. He has apologized to her and they apologized to one another. And she was like, you might as well went on, Clint, and had sex with the woman. It would have made me feel better. And so Clint was like, you mean to tell me that if I had sex with her, that would have made you feel better? And she was like, whatever the woman name is. And so Clint was like, Stephanie. That's it. Clint, don't you want her to forget the woman's name? Oh my God. Clint was like, I decided that I was going to do this because I was angry with you about what you did when we got married. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. Let's see who that is. Thank you, Amber Richards, Clinton, Tracy. Ain't nothing but a train wreck. Okay, nothing but. So, Clint is sitting there and he's, making excuses as to why he was with Stephanie. Why he was with Stephanie. Her name is Stephanie. Okay. And he's like, our bodies never touch one another. I didn't do anything with her. You got a warped way of thinking. If you think that it's better for me to have had sex with her than for me to never have touched her at all. And so Tracy, says that she forgives him and she wants to move on, but she really sees this as a betrayal. And it is a betrayal. And so, she's like, but I forgive, Clint's like, I'm sorry. I just did it because I was mad. And the whole time Clint is scratching and blowing his nose. And I'm saying, now even he got really bad allergies out there in that desert, or this mofo is on something for sure. Clint does not look like a healthy man. He does not look like a man who is. You're not gonna tell me that something ain't going on with Clint. No, Tracy may be clean. Okay, because she seemed like she was still aware. But Clint does not appear to be a clean man. Clint may need to go through rehab himself. Like there is something really wrong with Clint, and I'm not talking about his elevator not going up. I'm not talking about him being one French fry short of a Happy Meal. I'm saying Clint appears to be a drug addict as well. Okay, he seems like he's a drug addict. So anyway, Tracy's like, so do you not want me anymore, Clint? Is this your way of getting rid of me? And so Clint was like, no, she was like, love me, Clint? He was like, yeah, love you. Clint don't love Tracy because a man that loves you has no problem with saying, I love you and I'm sorry. And so Tracy's like, I want to, you want to be with me? He's like, yeah. So she was like, I want a hug. So he was like, come on over here and get it. He's steady. So she gets up, she goes over, she hugs him, she straddles him, they fall back on the bed and everything, and she tells him no more women. So the next day, Clint gets up in the morning, Tracy's not in the room. And he's like, things was a little rough last night. Tracy was still feeling some kind of way, and now she's gone. And so he walks down, to the pool that's behind the gate, like, who? So he walks down to a pool that's behind a gate in a gated area, and there's Tracy sunbathing in the sun. And so Clint comes up and, immediately he says, I apologize for, what I did. So Tracy said, you're going to have to get rid of the phone number. You got to get this woman out of your system. Okay. So Clint decides that, he's going to sit there in front of her because this is what he does for his goddess. He deletes the phone. Tracy says, you're going to have to do something for me and make it up to me. So Clint was like, what is that? And she was like, I want to go to a little chapel and I want to get married. We had our little, marriage before at the restaurant, okay, in front of everybody, right over there by the mechanical horse. And this time I would like to have it done in some kind of rinky-dinky Las Vegas chapel, okay? According to Tracy, this is the traditional wedding or the traditional way of getting married. I said, if this ain't some trash right here, this woman is straight trash. And so Tracy, so Clint is like, we're already married. And Tracy's like, no, you need to do this to prove to me that you really do love me. So Clint is like, all right, then, damn it, I'm going to go ahead on and do it. And so Tracy says, let's invite Alice. The first time we did it, Alice won't there. The second time we doing it, Alice ain't gonna be there either. But at least we need to tell her. So they pick up the phone. Clint's like, no, I didn't want my mother to know that I was in Vegas or anything. But he's so weak and he's full of guilt, okay, because he got caught with Stephanie because he said he wanted it to be a wonderful vacation. But it didn't start off wonderful because, mofo, your guilty conscience had you acting an ass right there in front of the Vegas sign. So Clint gives in again and he decides to call his mama. And so he's trying to brush his hair and get his hair together and everything. And they plug mama up on the phone. And so Alice is happy. She's like, hey, how you be FaceTiming somebody? Hey. So they're like, hey. She's like, hi Alice. Hi. We have something to tell you. So Alice was like, bitch, don't you tell me you pregnant. Y'all cannot procreate. Don't you tell me that y'all having a baby. So they was like, no, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. Clint, you want to tell her? So Clint's like, Mom, we're going to go and get married. So Tracy's like, we're going to have a traditional wedding. So Alice was like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about, a traditional wedding? A traditional wedding is in the church. So Tracy was like, for real? You can see in her face that she didn't even know this. Like, where's this woman been? Like, do they not have magazines and books and television shows with... Okay. I know she been drugged out and locked up all her life, but god damn, you don't know that a chapel is not where you have a traditional wedding. So Alice was like, well, let me gather myself. Let me get myself together and everything. I really don't bunk with this. But you know what? I'm in shock. And at this point, I don't even feel like talking to neither one of y'all asses. And so, Alice goes off the phone. Clint and Tracy are getting married at a chapel. And I believe, again, this is something that is going to be scripted. And last but not least, Marcelino. As we know, Marcelino has been fighting for custody behind the scenes with Brittany for baby G. We saw him last week when he was talking to his mama about baby G and about getting custody because according to him, they have been taking care of baby G for a year. So he's on his way, supposed to be going home, okay? And this mofo makes a U-turn and he goes to Tito's house to specifically talk to him about something. I said, if you don't put the S on the front of that damn word and say specifically and to talk to him, I'm going to punch you in your throat. I can't stand people who cannot say it specific and they say Pacific as if you don't think about the ocean, bitch! The Pacific is an ocean. You don't Pacific see nobody. You don't Pacific go... Bitch! So he specifically is going over there to see Tito, to talk to Tito about the custody. Although we know Brittany has already told him, this is my ex. I know how to handle this. So he gets to the door. He knocks on the door. Tito's like, what's up, man? He thinking he an all right dude. Because after all, this is the man that he's entrusted his baby with. So he comes up in the house. He was like, yeah, I need to talk to you. So Tito was like, all right then, brother, come on up in here. So, the brother, Tito sits on the sofa. Marcelino sits on the other side of the sofa. He like, I want to talk to you about some things. Brittany, I mentioned this to Brittany, and Brittany felt like we wouldn't be able to talk. We should be able to talk. Tito said, absolutely. We two men, we should be able to talk about anything. And so Marcelino was like, yeah. So he was like, I just wanted to talk to you. What's going on with your spot? What's happening with you? What's going on with your situation? So Tito was like, man, what you talking about? What's going on with my situation? What do you mean what's going on with my situation? So he was like, we done had baby G for over a year. So Tito was like, nah, you ain't had baby G for over no year. What's going on? Is there a problem with him, or what's going on? So he was like, I wanted to talk to you about, baby G. We done had him for over a year and everything, and I like to talk to you about, baby G being with us, and So Tito was like, wait a minute, hold on. First of all, baby G is me and her baby. This is our child. And you standing up in here, and Brittany ain't with your ass, okay? Only thing I see is you bumping off on your gums and everything, but Brittany ain't behind you. If she got a problem with baby G, then she need to talk to me, because we the parents. So, Marcelino now, he done got a little chat. He a little salty now. He feeling a little sugar poppy. You know what I'm saying? A little soft. And so, because basically, with his words, Tito done checked you, mind your business. This between grown folk. This between me and Brittany. If Brittany got a problem with this, Brittany need to come holler at me, bitch. What are you doing in here? So he was like, so if she ain't got no problem, the hell you doing in here? So Marcelino was like, let's talk about custody. Tito was like, custody? Man, what the fuck is you talking about? So Marcelino was like, we done had your son for a year. And so Tito was like, first of all, nah, you ain't had my son for a year. So he was like, there's advantages to him living with us on a permanent basis. Won't ask you for Tito nothing. Tito said, man, I guess Brittany ain't told you about the little party, you know what I'm saying, that she tell you about what really went down. Okay? The bitch didn't even show up. She didn't even sign the paperwork. And isn't it funny how a judge in Arizona will give a father 100% custody of his son? That speaks volume by itself, because I'm going to tell you right now, 99.9% of the time, the judge is going to award a baby to a mama. And so when a daddy is giving full custody of a child, the mother sends her faults and everything is agreed. Okay. Like you got to seriously be a fucked up individual for a woman not to get a baby. Straight up. He said Brittany didn't even show up for that mofo. Brittany sits up there and tells us a story that it was sent to her old address. Okay, Brittany. So Tito was like, you ain't getting baby G. You ain't had him for over a year. So he was like, so you can talk everything. You can say whatever you want to say, but you ain't getting my son. I be dead in my grave before you get my son. So Marcelino was like, I'm going to help you get to that, because we done had your son for a whole year, and he better off with us. You ain't even in his life. He said, I said no. Marcelino still talking. Tito said, I said no. I said, no, you ain't getting my son. I ain't giving up custody of my son. So Marcelino got to bumping his gums. He was like, man, what? What you want to do? Let's do this. So, Tito jumps up out of, out of this, off the sofa. What you want to do? Let's go head on. Let's do this. Marcelino jump up. Next thing you know, the mofos is like this. The cameraman moved Tito back. Marcelino, pop, pop. Okay, just ta-ta. You get him with that ta-ta-ta. Okay. He hit him with a two-puncher. You know what I'm saying? A double deuce to get him with a deucer. And a producer, the cameraman can't put the camera down. They got one mofo. He the grip man. He holding the big microphone and everything. He like, come on, y'all, stop this. Next thing you know, Tito got it loose. You know, they get to going to blow, pop, 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 pop. Tito make the mistake of going down like this. You know what I'm saying? You'll never be in no fight with a mofo that got an arm. First of all, he got more reach than you do because he's taller and his arms is longer. Tito, you never make the mistake of going down with the head like this, okay? If you gonna go down on the mofo, you gotta go down while you still swinging up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta still be coming up like that. And then you come down on that mofo growings. Bow! Like that. You got, okay? But Tito made the mistake of going down. Marcelino, of course, because he taller, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, these mofos is up on the floor. And the cameraman is down there talking about, stop. Y'all stop. Stop. Them mofos down there like... But I'm going to tell you what. Tito said, bitch, you may get me in a chokehold. You may make me look like a chicken getting ready to get my neck wrung. But I'm going to let you know, motherfucker, that I'm here. Tito was going down to the ground. Marcelino had all his weight up on Tito, but Tito's arm still was like, he was taking them little short sip of his punches. His little punches were like... Next thing you know, that motherfucker was like, both of them was on the ground. Producers getting them all off of him. Tito's laying face down. Marcelino got him up in a hole like this. Tito like, I'm going to tell you, you ain't getting my son. You ain't had my son for a year. And when I get up off this mofo floor, I'm whooping somebody's ass up in here. They end up getting them off of each other. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Next thing you know, Tito goes over and kicks one of the tables. That joint fold up and open up like that. Next thing you know, Tito got something black up in his hand. And the Marcelino busting his ass to get up out of there. I don't know what it was. I kept trying to pause to see if it was some type of firearm. But whatever the hell it was, Marcelino got his bitch ass up out of there. And then he gets in the car. And then he says, now, I got to go home to Brittany. I don't know what Brittany gonna say about this, okay? I don't know. Now I'm looking at the ramifications of my actions. Now I'm looking at the consequences of what the hell I did. How the hell am I going to explain this to Brittany? He pulls out the daggone driveway so hard that the daggone side door on the minivan won't even shut. That mofo was shut. I don't know what Tito had in his hand, but he wasn't playing with nobody. He wasn't going to take no prisoners. And I'm telling you, a couple of bitches look like they was about to get popped up in there, okay? Because what you don't do is come up in another man's house and act like that. So when Brittany thought that you didn't have the intelligence level, the skill level, to go and talk to Tito about Baby G without getting physical, violent, and ignorant as I don't know what, she was right. She was dead on the money because you went up in this mofo house and because he checked you and told you no, you wasn't getting custody of my son, you wanted to get to the point where you wanted to be disrespectful and ornery because you felt disrespected. You felt disrespected, Marcelino. But guess what? When you took your van, your little dusty, dirty-ass minivan, and you busted you around there to specifically go and talk to him about the situation, you gonna talk about you wanted the conversation without the confrontation. Nah, bitch. When you walk up in somebody's house, you get the confrontation before you even get the conversation. Dead ass. Dead ass. So now Marcelino busting down the street. The crew, the WeTV crew, right there with him. We get to the house and Brittany was like, what the did you just do? You think this funny? Marcelino standing down on the sidewalk, clothes all heaved up, kept doing his arm like that. You know why we was doing his arm like that? Because while Tito was down there on that ground and his arm was around there, Tito was down there biting the dog shit out of him. Tito was down there like that. Every tattoo he had on his arm was rearranged. Everywhere Marcelino had, he was down there taking a nibble up out that joint. He said, I got all 2 patties, special sauce, little cheese, pickled onions on a Marcelino bun. Bitch, don't you ever come up in my house and put me on a hold like this. So, you know, Brittany was like, what you think this is funny? This ain't funny. So she running down there, she goes against Baby G. This mofo gonna go over there and have a confrontation with the father and then go pick Baby G up from the daycare like ain't nothing happened? You twisted in your thinking. She was like, now he talk about he can recall a popo on me if I don't bring Baby G back in 30 minutes. Marcelino, you fucked up. Because guess what? He got full custody of Baby G. So where he was giving her allowance and allowing her to have time with her son, you done messed that up. All because of your ego. All because you thought that you had a right and you was entitled to take somebody's child from them. You ain't had a right to do that, Marcelino. You don't have a right. So now, Brittany is like, this ain't funny. This is serious. What I'm saying, you know, he stood up for me. He armed up. I had to defend myself. No, you didn't. He was defending himself. You were in his house. So now, Brittany gets another text message. And he says, fuck you and your man. He done barked up the wrong tree. I'm calling the police right now. So guess what's going to happen to Brittany, who just had another baby and still taking care of Baby G and is spending more time with him than she ever has in that little baby's life. You done snatched him now from his mother. She told you, I know the angle. He's my ex. But because of your self-righteousness, you done messed it up for Baby G. You gonna sit there and tell him this is about Baby G, right? At the end of the day, we both want Baby G to be happy. Tito was like, yeah. But then when you sitting up in a man's house talking about you gonna take his child from him and that you done had him for a year, Tito ain't got no reason to lie. If you had him for a year, you had him for a year. But you don't have the right to come in there and take nobody's baby. Now, guess what? Brittany gonna lose rights to the baby for real now. Because what he was doing out the kindness of his heart. This bitch ain't got no order. All because of you, Marcelino. You don't have any respect for what the girls say because you feel like you bought and paid for her. So you feel like you could do anything and say anything and act any way you want to. But at the end, none of that benefited Baby G. None of it. Because now he's about to see the police come to his mama's door. You dumb fuck. I don't know how this gonna end. But we all, hi, baby from Australia. Hi, sweetie. Let me say hi. It was meant for me to see that little comment on there. Let me say hi to my baby from across the... Hi, Sue. She said, hi, Auntie. I'm from Australia. Yes, boo. I don't know how this going to end. But the show don't look like it's going to be pretty. It really doesn't. What an ignorant mofo. Ignorant Marcelino. And now you realize there's going to be some consequences for what you did. There's going to be some serious consequences and whatever. I'm tired and I'm through and I'm done. Thank you so much for everybody who came out here tonight for this late night. Y'all, I am so tired for this late night review. I appreciate you all. You all have a great Saturday. I'm going to come out and do a video on a new cast and just kind of introduce the new cast to you all of Life After Lockup, which is going to be coming on real soon. Oh my God, real soon. And then we have the new cast of 90 Day Fiance. Oh my God, they are coming back. And so I'm going to be doing a couple of videos, just something to hold you all while I am going to be taking at least a couple of days off to celebrate my birthday next week. Thank you to everybody who has asked me, Auntie, how do we bless you for your birthday? How do we do this? How do we do that? What's your P.O. box? I will try my best to put my Cash App name and all of that stuff into the description box so that if you all really want to bless me, you can absolutely do that. I mean, I ain't gonna be doing no GoFundMe or anything like that, but I don't want to stop anybody who wants to bless me for my birthday. I know usually for my birthday, y'all bless me real good for my birthday. And so, I mean, it's just a pleasure and just a joy to be turning another year. I am a old hag, okay? When I'm looking at this monumental birthday that's coming up, I'm like, God damn, I'm old. But I don't feel old. I still feel young. So I'm going to leave you all with a couple of videos this weekend. I will be able to do Love After Lockup. 90 Day Fiance Tell All Part 2. I will be out here on Sunday, but then after that, I will be taking, like I said, a couple of days breaks. A couple of breaks taking a break for a damn couple of days. I will be announcing pretty soon where I'm going to be having a spontaneous birthday meet and greet. For all of you all who are in the DMV area, I'm going to be giving you all a location on my Instagram page and on my community tab, so be looking out for that. I'm going to be going to one of my favorite restaurants in the DC area, and I want to open it up for you all to come and join me for dinner or for drinks or just a really quick birthday meet and greet. And so I'm really excited about that, and I hope that you all are too. So be looking out for that announcement from me really, really soon. I love you all to pieces. Y'all have a great night, and I will talk to you all soon during my next review. Love you all. Bye.